What's the most satisfying act of I don't give a f that you have ever witnessed? I was in line at a coffee shop and the lady was complaining that they didn't have organic milk, and without a word or hesitation the guy behind the counter just said next please, not even taking her order. Back when I worked at a movie theater, one of my fellow assistant managers, Jack, had a constant attitude of not giving a ref. He'd worked at the theater longer than anyone and was good friends with the general manager, so he got away with murder. One time this lady wanted a refund for a movie she'd finished watching. She was going crazy, screaming at us about how the movie was so inappropriate to be rated PG-13 and she couldn't stand all the swearing in the movie. I kept calmly trying to explain to her that since the movie was already over we couldn't give her a refund. Our policy clearly stated no refunds after 30 minutes into showtime. She's not hearing it, and looks to Jack now, like he will give her the answer she wants. He starts saying the same thing I did, and she interrupts him again with her yelling about how she couldn't stand all the swearing in the film. Jack rolls his eyes and just says, well, that's just too effing bad, and walks off. Cue stunned look on my face and the ladies. My cashier in Amsterdam was literally just taking my groceries and sliding them across but not scanning them and then putting them into my bag. She scanned the last thing for like €2 and goes, that'll be €2. She did not give even half of 1F. My ex-boss had a customer throw her money on the counter when my boss clearly had her hand already out waiting to be given the money. So when my boss went to give the change, she just threw it back. Coins went everywhere but the look on the lady's face was priceless. Whenever I deal with customers, I just reciprocate what they do. Hand me your money. I hand it back. Put your money on the table. I put it on the table as well. I was at a restaurant recently. While I was waiting for my friends to arrive I noticed a few tables away. The lady was going on and on. I couldn't hear the exact words, but it was pretty obvious that they were having a heated argument where she was apparently scolding her and the guy was just sitting there having an occasional spoonful of his dessert. Exactly 3 minutes and he just stands up and walks away. He goes out of the restaurant, gets in his car and drives away. I was sitting at a table near the window facing the street, and the woman was in absolute shock. The look on her face was priceless. I mean, I shouldn't judge their relationship without context, but the guy sure didn't give a flying fart about what happened next. Didn't see it, but it was talked about at my old restaurant. My autistic friend was getting an interview for a second restaurant job. The chef doing the interview asked this question and got this response: I could be the biggest a-hole when things get heated. How do you feel about that? Well, if that's the case, then I don't want to work for you. Some Karen was beefing about a 25 cents off coupon. The coupon was for a 42-ounce bottle of something, but she wanted a 28-ounce bottle. The coupon was rejected when scanned, because there was no product to match it. There was nothing the cashier could do, but Karen just kept demanding 25 cents off. Finally, the guy ahead of me in line marched up to the counter, slapped a quarter down, and said, there's your effing 25 cents off. Now pay your effing bill so the rest of us can go on with our days. Was living and working from home on a super busy street. One day I hear a ruckus out front. There's an SUV stopped in the middle of the road. The occupants apparently having a fight. No traffic could get by, and wouldn't you know it, like 10 cars back there's a deputy's car. Deputy walks up, already pissed off by the shape of his stride. Now I couldn't hear anything up to this point, but things got very loud. He demanded to know what the issue was. Driver wanted the passenger out of the car. Deputy asks the passenger, whose car? Passenger begrudgingly says it's the driver's, but that they help pay for it. Deputy, out of the car. Passenger, but, deputy, now, out. Passenger gets out, goes to stand on the curb as directed. Deputy, to the driver, drive. Passenger, but how am I supposed to get home? Deputy, walk, turns, walks off into sunset. Seriously, that last walk was the coldest damn command I'd ever heard. The deputy was 1000% done with everyone's sh that day. Someone's girlfriend was cussing them out in the middle of mall. This dude called up his mate and asked to get a ride home and left her speechless. Don't know how that relationship ended up. In college we had this prof for physics who liked to pick on a few students. Basically me and a few others. We had an exam, and he would take off major points over trivial items. Cases where people were getting the correct answers but he didn't agree with our work. Sh like that. And we're talking getting 2/20 on a question, which pretty much fs you over. After insulting us the prof gets up and solves a problem on the board, and made a trivial mistake. The kind of one that nearly caused us all to fail his class. One of the guys gets up, writes F on the board, flicks him off and walks off. Truly the hero we need.